Hello viewers, my name is Adam and this is Seeking Media Productions. And in this video, we're branching out into another segment that we're doing. Because this channel does basically anything media, why not do anime? And in this video, I'm going to tell you my first interaction with anime, and that has to be Speed Racer. Most people tend to say that Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and even Sailor Moon is their first encounter with this form of entertainment. But lucky enough, I was born in the mid-90s and Cartoon Network was graciously showing a lot of reruns of much older cartoons from 40s to 60s. Now, Speed Racer was broadcast back in 1967 through 1968, spanning 52 episodes during that timeline. And being that it was released back in 1967, at the time of this video, it's celebrating its 50th anniversary. And I'll say that most people should get the Blu-ray that Funimation is getting. Especially for me, and it's fitting because this is my first interaction with anime. I do plan on getting it quite soon. I guess I should start talking about this series now. So, the story follows around the titular character of Speed Racer, Go Mifune in Japan. Now, I should tell you that this review is based on the Americanized version of this story. I do know that the Japanese name went by Mako Gogo in Japan, but for the review's sake, I have no idea what the Japanese adaptation was. Maybe it was more violent, maybe it had a little bit more profanity, but it probably can't be too different from what I'm seeing now, like the previous show, like Voltron, which is completely different to Japan. Wow, how violent that was. But in this one, I'm going by the Americanized version. So it does follow the titular character of Speed Racer as he goes about his professional career as a race car driver. The most iconic aspect to the series have to be his vehicle, the Mach 5. The Mach 5, in my opinion, is like the top 10 most fictional vehicles ever put into the pop culture's mindset. It's up there with Batmobile, James Bond's Aston Martin, Mad Max's muscle car, and I say I'll put Bumblebee's Camaro too. Now, the Mach 5 was created by Speed Racer's father, Pod Racer. And in the beginning of the series, he doesn't want anything for Speed Racer to do as far as professional racing is involved. That's maybe because of he does not want his son to get hurt, and he just created the car, so no damage done there. But he lets his son, Speed Racer, go about his professional career very early on. So from here on this point, that's all the story that you need to know if you want to jump right into the series. The series follows a very loose standalone structure, as every other episode deals with a different scenario. Like most scenarios in the show last about 2 to 3 episodes, and basically you just pick one and carry on from there. They're quite entertaining ones at that, but they do follow like a Saturday morning cartoon feel to them. So as far as negative goes for story, there you go. Now the Mach 5 is practically a very highly advanced vehicle. It's able to release jumping jacks to launch like good distance in the air while jumping. Have rotary blades to make passageways easier. It even transform into a submarine. So there you go. Here I'm discussing all the mechanics of this vehicle. I should tell you exactly what type of show this actually is. So the show is an action series at its heart. Even though Speed continues his go rounds of his professional racer, and each consecutive race he finds himself in, he does find himself also in some very crime-ridden scenarios. Like he's involved in kidnapping, vehicle sabotage, crime lords, and all sorts of jazz that makes him turn out to be this action hero at the end of this day. And I should go into character specifics now and discuss the type of person Speed Racer is. So Speed Racer is an all-around good guy. He's honorable, he shows good sportsmanship when possible, And because he's a good action hero, he's a well-capable fighter as well. But I'll say his being so honorable is the reason why he gets himself in a lot of situations. He will find himself one day driving during a race, an important one at that, but he wants to help out the person who's falling behind. And that person tends to come with a lot of baggage, so he's either conflicting with wanting to win so badly, but also have some integrity and be a good sportsmanship by helping others in need. Sometimes it'd be a bit annoying knowing the fact that he has no business in some situations. But that's his character, it's a flaw, but he has to live with that. The whole series actually revolves around the whole family, and the most important figure besides Speed Racer in the series has to be his father. Without his father, there wouldn't be no Mach 5, and hence no show at all. His father, he sometimes becomes a conflict of interest for Speed because even though he allows him to be this professional racer, he's also a lot concerned with his car. So he's always biting his tongue a lot when it comes to Speed going about these very dangerous situations he finds himself in. You also have Trixie, which is basically Speed's girlfriend, but not mentioned in the series. But I'll say that she's a very integral character as well. She's basically the best girlfriend any guy can actually have, since she sometimes even saves his life. And basically that Swiss Army character that most TV shows have when it comes to knowing exactly where to be, having all the equipment possible, or just being there at the right time. Also in the series is Speed's younger brother, Spritle, and his pet, Chim Chim. I don't know how this character survives the predicament he's in. Spritle, a lot of the recurring gag in the series that Spritle and his pet, Chim Chim, are in the trunk of the Speed Racer's car, the Mach 5, and if you know the series, you know the Mach 5 are in a lot of dangerous car chases and accidents, so the kid should be a pile of mush at this point. But it's a cartoon. It's before anime was even very mature and realistic as it is. Take it as you will. Now, as far as underdeveloped characters and the series is concerned, is of course Speed's mom. Speed's mom is a very one-note character. She's just there to support Speed at everything he does. I can't really actually remember anything specific that she does in the series, and that's really not saying much. It's very shame that they do a lot for the father in the series, but not enough for the mother. Now, the most important character in this series is, of course, Racer X. His real name is Rex Racer, and that's Speed's older brother. Now, it goes back to the reason why Speed's father doesn't want him to be a professional driver in the first place, because his brother was a professional racer. And his brother was in this big accident that pretty much started for his father to resent him. And thus Rex runs away from his family, and during that particular time, him leaving his family, he becomes this very reclusive character, very shadowy figure who goes around the undergrounds, and he has this myth that every time he enters a race, bad things happen to other drivers. Now, the characters don't know that Rex is Speed's brother. It's another recurring annoying gag in the series, because it's like, it's obviously your brother's type scenario, but given a much more modern touch to the story, probably some very interesting things could happen if the family knew that Rex Racer was indeed Racer X. Other characters as follows is basically basic Saturday morning cartoon fare. The criminals are actually quite one note, actually. Tend to revolve around that mustache twirling type figure that always want to thwart Speed Racer's plan or just trying to get back at him because he got involved in their dealings. But the show does focus on the family aspect. So as far as characters go, the family is good, but everybody else, they fall into just being okay at best. Now, the most uneven aspect of the series has to be the production of the show. It was made back in the 1960s, where not a lot of money was spent towards the animation. You have a series in which animation can be found to be quite choppy at times. When characters walking or doing some very minimal movement is quite noticeable. But the series do make an effort in trying to make the driving sequences as fluid as possible. But even though the driving sequences are decent, it still is quite noticeable with everything else that's involved. The art design does help out in the animation front. Character designs are quite solid, and given the fact that they do a lot more detail for characters, at times it does make up for the lack of movement in its characters. I think the best quality the production has to offer has to be the sound design. Great sound design incorporates through the engine, every time the car brakes. It does a good job of depicting speed with the sound. So when the cars are driving, it really does make sure that the speed of what the cars are going is truly felt. I think I shouldn't end this series without talking about the music. The music is a good aspect to the show, especially with this pulp action and adventures tone. It does a good job of elevating the fighting and the racing aspects of the series. And I shouldn't stop this review even further without talking about the theme songs. The theme song for both the United States and Japanese are basically the same thing, with different lyrics, but it has the same type of rhythm, so you can enjoy either or, and at the same expense. Now, in retrospect, the series does have flaws, especially being outdated at times. The story is quite easy to dive right in, and because of its simple premise, I don't find any issues with watching a couple of episodes or two. It's very likable in its storytelling approach, and it's wonder why this series is such beloved even over here in the United States. I say the series might deserve some nostalgic points as being so iconic, and plenty of animes do deserve to thank this series, as it was a great ground step forward as far as entering to the mainstream. Of course, the Mach 5 is still a beloved vehicle, and I'll say that the theme song is, of course, very notable as well. So I'll give the series a good review overall. I do find myself liking this series, even though I haven't watched this series in a very, very long time. And in order for me to prepare for this review, I did watch some episodes. And lucky enough to say, I find myself enjoying them just the same. So what would you like about this review? Do you want me to start reviewing a lot more other animes? If do, please comment below and tell me what you want me to review later on. Like always, like, share, and subscribe. My name is Adam, and this has been a Seeking Media Productions. Thank you for watching.